Hey guys, welcome back to Positioned Well. Have you ever wondered how much design upgrades cost on your new construction home? Well, today we're going to explore the lot, the structural costs, and the design studio costs. By the end of this video, you will be able to estimate how much you plan to spend on your home outside of the sales price. And I'll provide a bonus tip that will ensure that you do not blow the budget. So let's begin. All right, so let's go ahead and get you all in position to tackle these upgrades. The first thing that I want to cover is the lot. Once you have gotten approved for your financing, in order to start the building of your home, before anything, you have to secure your lot. For us, that was our first expense. We spent an additional $3,500 on the lot because my husband desired a corner lot. So for those of you who are not aware, a corner lot means you have one neighbor on one side of you versus having two neighbors on each side of you. Now, before we move into the structural design costs, I want to tell you all that when you're walking through the model home and you're selecting your model, do not listen to the sales agent. I asked a lot of questions about upgrade costs at that time. And while he was wonderful and I enjoyed him, one of the things that I remember him saying is, oh, well, everyone in the neighborhood has spent $10,000 or less in upgrades. Except for me. So that's your first tip. Now let's go ahead and move on to number 2, which is our structural expenses. Before we get into the structural costs, you need to know that right after you submit your lot payment and secure your lot, you are then assigned a lot number. The sales agent is going to start emailing you because before the foundation and blueprints or whatever needs to be done, you have to determine the structural options. Why? Because this is what's going to determine the appropriate square footage, where walls are placed, where your kitchen is outlined, and things of that nature. The first one is the fireplace. I'm not sure why I need to pay for a fireplace. In my previous home, it was included, but not this one. So look out for that. I did ask the sales agent in my ignorance. So if I don't get the fireplace, what's going to be there? And of course, he said a blank wall. That was not an option for me. So we spent $2,000 on a fireplace. The next thing that I knew that I had to have was the gourmet kitchen, and that was $5,160. And then last, I added the butler pantry, which I actually use now for my coffee bar, and that was $1,800. So for structural upgrades, I've already spent $8,960. All right guys, so believe it or not, we are almost halfway through this video. So go ahead and hit the like button. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that notification bell as well. I want to ask you all a question though. How do you plan to use this information? Are you currently in the market for a new home? Or are you planning to share it with family members and or friends? Let me know in the comment box. All right, so third is your design options. So once you have identified your lot and you have identified your structural upgrades, you will need to go to the design studio and you'll receive an email from the design studio representative. Here is where you really get down to the nitty-gritty. Honestly, it's an overwhelming job. I wish I was better prepared because at that appointment, you are going to decide on everything from your home. From the color of the shutters, from the color of the bricks and the stones, to the flooring, to the knobs, to the sinks. You name it, you will identify it, and it takes quite a while. So take some coffee with you and make sure you have already eaten, okay? All right, so number 3, designs. Here are the items that we upgraded. 1, an insulated garage, which includes the garage walls, which was $430. We also insulated the garage door, which was $210. We added a gas line for $430. I wanted the option to later on switch out my electric stovetop to gas, so I went ahead and prepared for that. Next up is window casings. This was so confusing to me. Again, I had to ask the agent, are you talking about the wood trim around the windows? You know, I'm confused. And of course they said yes. I mean, 1970, 1980, 1990, 2000. I mean, I have always seen wood trim around the windows ever since I was born. Why am I paying for that? I don't know, but we had to pay for it. Or it would just be blank, so it's up to you. Window casing was $1,020. Our flooring, we chose EVP floors for downstairs. That was $2,389. And it also included us extending the floors into the great room. So I wanted my entire first floor covered. And then we added blinds for $1,700. And for us, we did not want to come into our home and have to install blinds. So we just wanted it already done so we could walk in and utilize them, knowing that it would take some while to get furniture. And that's up to you because you might not be a blinds person. Then we added the Comfort Height toilet for $40. And this was at the suggestion of the sales rep, and she said that this was when all the husbands lit up because they wanted a taller toilet seat. Tip, get it in your whole house. We added it in the primary bathroom, and you can definitely tell a difference. All right, so let's go ahead and close this out with all of our kitchen upgrades, which is typically where you're going to spend the bulk of your money. I added butler pantry cabinets for $640. So in our home, you could have 2 pantries that were right across from one another, or you could have 1 pantry and add a butler pantry. And that's what we did, but I also wanted that pantry to include cabinets to match the kitchen. Next up, I added an apron sink, which is porcelain white, in the kitchen, as well as square sinks in all of our bathrooms. And we topped it off with quartz countertops, and that was a total of $6,380. In addition to that, I added small pendant lights over top of the kitchen island at $180 a piece. And we purchased 2 of those. I knew I was going to plan on changing those out. I just didn't know how soon. But in the interim, I did want the pendant lights already installed. All right, so our design upgrades totaled $15,409. Listen, you guys, I can smile right now because I'm in my home. We've been in it for 2 years and I love it. However, I was unsure of whether I was gonna have a heart attack at that table. So let's go ahead and give you the grand total. The grand total for the lot, the structural items, and the design items came to $27,869. Afterwards, I did do some research and I learned that price can range from anywhere from $20,000 up to $40,000. So it really just depends on your pocketbook and what you're willing to spend. Which leads me to the bonus tip that I said that I had for you all that will make this so much easier. Before you go to the design studio, before you put your payment down for your lot, talk to your mate, or if it is just you who's purchasing, go ahead and determine what your non-negotiable items are. That did make it easier for us. My husband knew he had to have an insulated garage. He knew he had to have a corner lot. I knew I had to have the gourmet kitchen. I knew I was adding the butler pantry. And then from there, it was basically, what do I want in addition to that I can afford, knowing what I want my monthly mortgage to be. Or if you're blessed like that and you won't have a mortgage and you're gonna put your money down, then you know what to do. Okay, I hope this was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments if you want me to do a follow-up video and just make this a series. I can show you all of the design options that I had to choose from, the colors, the levels, and what I actually chose. And if you want, since it has been 2 years that we've been in this home, I am happy to do a video on the items that I wish I would have purchased, and then some of the items that is like, you know what, I did that, we did that. So let me know. Until the next video.